I'm doing yoga and also Samkya in the same video because of how related they are. They are both dualistic, and it's very, very, very likely that they developed or in tandem or that yoga developed from Samkya. In fact, yoga is often called theistic Samkya, and that name will highlight the key difference between these two, is that yoga is a much more mystical practice, and it is oftentimes theistic. Now, first of all, yoga, of course, when I say that, I'm not talking about just the practices. And right now, I'm talking more about the philosophy of yoga. The practices of yoga are a much older, much more rooted thing, but the canonical philosophy of yoga is actually a relatively recent thing. It is commonly thought to have started with Patanjali. The date disagrees, but likely around the 4th century BC. And Patanjali was somewhat of a emulsifier of different ideas. He collected different ideas, of course, from Samkhya. He collected different ideas from the Jains, the Buddhists, and various other groups, of course. And he developed his own practice that went hand in hand with his own philosophy. And this is, of course, as I said, a dualistic, mystical, theistic philosophy. Samkhya, on the other hand, is very much rationalistic. And Samkhya starts with what is called the Samkhya Sutras, which were written by a guy named Kapil. Um, and Kapila was very much defined in relative in opposition to Vashisheka. In fact, he talks about the Vashishekas, and he uses some strong language against them and insults them, which is quite funny, to be honest. But it is also dualistic. He talks about the Prakrit and the Purusha, the mind, eternal souls, and the body. Um, and so he differentiates himself from both atomism and also uh, materialism or idealism. And in this way, he creates his own sort of Samkhya. Um, Samkhya literally means number because it is so focused on this concept of rationalism, and I don't believe it is a exception that Samkhya in the classical Indian mathematics developed in tandem. Bodhyana was right around the same time as Samkhya, so I think these two things developed in tandem, similar to Greek mathematics and Greek idealism. And also, of course, later on, some people like Descartes and Kant, both idealist or dualists, uh, developing mathematics. So, Samkhya, this rationalistic, Samkhya believes in salvation through sudden cognition, and he compares this to the points about a compass, which is an interesting comparison. Of course, he doesn't mean a magnetic compass, but the points about a compass. He says that you can only realize it through sudden cognition.